This is Dr. Liz, Senior Pastor at Antioch International Church, and I would like to personally welcome you to Network for Encouragement. We are so glad that you have joined us today, and we hope that you are inspired and encouraged during our time together. And now, here is our host, Mr. Cyril Prabhu, the founder of Proverbs 226.
Good morning, Anson. It is really nice to come to you one more time, this time with another book. And I'm so excited about what we are going to see through this book. This book that we are going to talk about is called Are You Dancing in the Rain? Just as the title of the book says, there are times that we go through rough patches. There are seasons in our life that we go through rough times, and nobody is just like out of that rough patch without having some damage happen in their life. And how do we cope up in those kind of moments? So when this book was written, a lot of times when people write the book, right, they write it for a purpose. Sometimes they write it for a certain audience. Like when you look at the book, Gospels, each of the four Gospels were written for a different audience, right? The same way when people write the books, they write sometimes to make money, right? Because they have an idea, they wanted to raise funds. And other times people write the books because they wanted to share a message with someone. They wanted to help someone who's needing this information. Like there are technology books that are out there, right? But there are certain books that are written to just like give the people a hope and a path that they can hold on to. So that was the intent of this book, and I'm so excited to listen to what Dr. Liz is going to talk about this morning. And the title for this chapter that she's going to walk through is called Dancing for Purpose. So without further ado, let me welcome Dr. Liz.
Thank you, and welcome to our Network for Encouragement. We're so glad that you're joining with us today. Today we are doing the introduction for this next series as we go through this book, Are You Dancing in the Rain by Cyril Prabhu. And I'm so excited to go through these stories. One, I'm learning so much more about Cyril. I feel like I'm just getting to know him even deeper by reading his stories, but also the nuggets that are shared, the aha moments in this book that just, it's like as the honey melts in the tea, just this sweetness of, oh, I could use that in my life and that would really help. And so there's just some great moments as we go through this book and these chapters. And so this morning's, today's lesson, today's message is called Dancing for Purpose. Now, I am a mom. I have 3 boys. And when my boys were little, one thing that we loved to do on rainy days was put on our boots, we call them wellies, Wellington boots, or galoshes, put on our rubber boots and go out and stomp and jump in the puddles. And now with my boys, everything has to be a competition. And so it became a competition to see who could get the most water inside of their boots. But it was so much fun. Instead of getting discouraged that, oh, it's a rainy day and we can't go out to play, it was, yes, it's a rainy day and we can go jump in puddles. And it was just such a fun thing to get wet, completely soaked and usually really muddy, but to just jump in these puddles and fill our wellies with water. Now, for me personally, I'm a creative person. I'm artistic, and when I look at scenery, I'm always looking at the colors. And I love when it rains how the green becomes greener. And there's this vibrant green that comes out, and also the smell of like the soil that when there's this nice fresh rain and you can smell the earth, you can smell the soil. And it's like the earth is just opening up because it's thirsty and it's about to have a drink. And I just love the smell, the feeling, the look, the color that comes when it rains. Now, Cyril uses this same type of analogy in his book, Are You Dancing in the Rain? This book reminds the readers that their life has purpose. Your life has purpose. And it is not defined by the trials that we go through. Our life is not defined by our trials or our disappointments. It shouldn't be. It shouldn't be defined by that. We all need to realize that our life matters. We have a purpose, so we need vision. Proverbs tells us that the people perish for lack of vision. In another version, it says, without vision, the people cast off restraint. We need to have vision for our life, and we have that when we realize our purpose, or at least part of our purpose. To be honest, I don't think we ever figure out our whole purpose until we're with the Lord. But as we have steps, in this season, I know I need to do this, or I have a purpose for my children. I have a purpose for my family, for my friends. I have a purpose to help these people, all these different things. We all have a purpose. In this season, in this series, Cyril's book, as we study Cyril's book, it is our hope to inspire you. It is our hope to encourage you and to give you tools through these stories on how to dance even when it's pouring out. The author Vivian Green said, life isn't about waiting for the storm to pass. It's about learning to dance in the rain. Cyril is a great dance instructor, and throughout the pages of this book, he shares with us his lessons of learning to dance in the rain. He shares with us about the huge life-altering challenges that he constantly faced and how he learned to constantly adjust so that he could keep going on and keep moving forward. When I first started learning to drive, I remember my mom teaching me how you can't just hold the wheel, press the gas, and think that you'll just go straight. You have to constantly adjust how you're steering because you've got the alignment of the steering wheel and the alignment of the wheels, and then you've got bumps in the road. And so you can't just hold it straight, press the gas, and hope that you're going to get straight to the end of the road. You have to constantly adjust as you go along. And so it is with life. We're constantly learning to adjust and be flexible. And, oh, that didn't work so well here, even though it worked before. So now we're going to try it this way. And this is like this dance that Cyril talks about. And we're learning to go this way, and we're learning to go that way. And as we learn, we can move with fluidity instead of just rigid, stop, jump out of the way. If we're driving and you just stop and jerk, you're going to cause an accident. But if you learn to constantly adjust along the way, like this dance of moving in the ebbs and flows of life, it's way smoother. And we get to our purpose. We get to our destination. So I love the quote that Cyril says. I'm going to quote Cyril, even though it's kind of interesting because he's right here in front of me, but it's all right. But I love what he says on page 3 in the introduction. He says, he brings up this question that he asked himself. He would ask, why can I not find stamina to bounce back and dance when things fall apart? This was a question he was asking himself. Like, I can see other people that they keep going and they keep going. Why do I not have the stamina? And this is a really good question that we should all ask. And then we have to look at who do I see that can bounce back even when they go through hard times. Like some of us have amazing grandmas that it's like no matter what they get hit with, they get back up and they say, all right, let's keep going. All right, we dealt with that. Now let's keep going. And they just have this tenacity for life to just keep going and keep going and keep going. So this means that we have to find people around us that have this strength, this stamina to keep going when they get knocked down, when they get disappointed, when they go through hard times, so that we can learn from them and glean from what is their source, what is it that drives this ability to keep going. So we need to like find these people and then ask them, what is your secret? How do you do this? How are you able to get back up and keep moving forward? On page 4 in this introduction, Cyril also says this, and I loved this. While exploring the basis for his own existence, he is transformed as mysteries concealed in his own heart are revealed. As we read Cyril's stories, he shares these secrets with us. Cyril presents 3 of his secrets to how he went from poor, fatherless child in a village in India to a senior vice president at the Bank of America. And we can glean so much from his stories and learn from how he went from no stamina to actually having great stamina, being able to carry heavy burdens and smile and say no problem and keep moving forward. There's so much that we can learn from his stories and then be successful in our own lives. So he gives us these 3 secrets: focus, family, and faith. So in focus, he talks about having a positive focus and looking at the positive. All of my sons play soccer. And one of them, I noticed when he was playing, like he looked angry. He looked mad. And I asked him, I'm like, are you having fun? Do you enjoy this? And he said to me, I play better if I'm mad. I play better if I'm angry. And I was like, no, that's not good. Because when we're angry and when we're mad, it actually clouds our judgment and we see everything through that filter. I said, you need to play like you're happy. You need to play because you are joyful that you get to do this, but also your creator delights in you as you do great things and as you have fun and as you experience life in a great way. So you need to play happy. You need to play full of joy because you will be more successful and you will play better. And so he started doing that, and it really changed his game. And so our focus needs to be positive. Our focus needs to be on what is good. When it's anger that fuels us, it clouds our judgment and it actually hurts us. But when it's love and joy that fuels us, then we learn to dance. If we're angry, we just stomp around everywhere. But when we're full of love and joy and we look for the positive, then our movements become like a dance and they become fluid and we're able to move around through life. So that's one of his secrets, is our focus. The second secret is our faith. At a young age, Cyril had a faith in God. I love what he says on page 6. He says, every one of us is uniquely created, and from time to time we must dance to life's varied tunes. But you are not alone. God plays an important role in each of our lives, and he is in the business of restoration. I am so thankful for that. Joel 2:25 confirms, I will restore the years that the swarming locust has chewed. God is so faithful, and he delights in us, and he loves us, but he asks that we have faith in him, that we trust him. When we trust in God because he loves us. Cyril says, it is our faith that keeps our hope alive. When we have hope for tomorrow and the future, it strengthens our ability to focus on the positive and give us vision for the purpose of our life. The third secret that Cyril gives us is family. Now, for some of this, it's going to be our biological family, but for some of us, it's going to be the community that is around us that is our family. Because no man or woman is an island unto themselves. We need family. We need community. We need people around us. We can't get there on our own, and we weren't meant to. We are meant to be in family. The Bible tells us that God puts the lonely in family. In this book, Cyril is going to tell us about his list of heroes, everyday heroes, people that God brought into his life to help him and teach him different steps and moves so that he could complete his journey by learning to dance in the rain. Scripture tells us to run the race with endurance, the race that is set before us. We can't stop every time it rains. For many years, I lived in Vancouver, British Columbia, in Canada, and it rains there all the time. It's just north of Seattle. It rains all the time. And I came from Niagara Falls, Ontario, where it didn't rain very often. In the summer, you got the afternoon little rain showers or thunder showers, but it wasn't a rainy place. And so you just stay home when it rains. But in Vancouver, if you stay home when it rains, you never go anywhere. And you start to get discouraged and depressed because you just waiting for it to stop raining, and it never stops raining. Well, it does a little bit, but you get the point. It rains all the time. So I had to adjust. I had to learn to be okay with being sopping wet. I had to learn how to literally run in the rain. I love to run. And so I would just have to run even on rainy days, or else I would never get out and run. And so we have to learn this so that we don't get stuck. That we don't get stuck waiting for the rain to stop, but we learn to dance, we learn to run, we learn to move through the rain, in the rain. On page 8, Cyril says, hopefully, your search for happiness will result in your finding the true meaning for your existence. This comes down to knowing our purpose. That's why we're learning to dancing for purpose. Because when we realize our purpose and we have vision, that brings a joy in our life. It brings happiness in our life so that no matter what's happening around us, we can still have a joy in our faith, a joy in our purpose, a joy in what we were created for, and knowing that God delights in us as we walk these days out. When you have vision for your life and you truly know that you have purpose, even when you're not sure what it is yet, it's a game changer. On page 9, Cyril says, sometimes God allows us to endure adversity to help us grow, learn to dance, and become better people. The lessons I learned at a young age provided me the foundation for overcoming obstacles as I walked through the valleys of dark shadows. I'm sure lots of you have learned lots of lessons through your life. And one of the lessons we learn is that we can learn from other people. We can learn from other people's mistakes and other people's journeys and hard times so that we don't have to go through the same thing. We can learn from them. In these lessons and seasons, Cyril didn't have to do it alone. God brought family and community, heroes, to help him learn to dance and keep moving forward. Cyril highlights a few of these such heroes, like his uncle Salvaraj, I'm not sure if I pronounced that right, his mother, this couple Annie and Graham that supported him, and also his Uncle John. When we remember the good that people have done for us and invested us, or that they have done and we can learn from that, when we remember the good, when we remember the positive, the kindness, what we've learned from these heroes, we honor them and we reap the rewards in our own life. Cyril closes his introduction with nothing worthwhile in this life comes easily. So let's make our dance steps steady and precise, even when storms are raging in a torrential rainfall. Let's be intentional about how we move through the storms of life. So as we journey through the pages of this book, I want to encourage you to focus on the positive. Look at your life. Look at the heroes, the mentors, the people in your life, that you can focus on the things you've learned from them, the things that they've done, the good things that people have done. Focus on the positive. Philippians 4:8 says, finally, brothers and sisters, whatever is true, whatever is noble, whatever is right, whatever is pure, whatever is lovely, whatever is admirable, If anything is excellent or praiseworthy, think about such things. Second, keep your faith in God. He is your source. He is your light and salvation. Like Psalm 27:1 says, "The Lord is my light and my salvation. Whom shall I fear?" When God is our light and our salvation, we don't need to worry about other things. We can look to Him and focus on Him as our source, as what gives us that ability to get back up and keep going, and to do it with joy and to do it with love. So when we focus on the positive and we have faith in God, and we learn from our family, the people that God has placed in our lives, to look for the good qualities and learn from their experiences of how they dance along even when it's raining. So God bless you, and we will see you next time for the first chapter in Are You Dancing in the Rain? Take care, and God bless.
Thank you, Dr. Liz. It was wonderful. It was almost like I was reading my own book through the eyes of Dr. Liz. A couple of things that, I know that Dr. Liz talked about, the focus and, how we need to stay positive. One of the things that was very close when I was writing this book is this, like how many people that we come across in our life that actually invest into our life. If only we don't have those people, we may not even, know certain characteristics. A couple of years ago, I was with someone, a good friend named Bob, right? And he's in his mid 80s, and he's very poetic. And his fiance was suffering from cancer, and she was almost at the death bed. And a couple of weeks, they have been going through really rough times. So we as a family went there to see them, right? And here is this woman that's not able to get out of her bed, but she wants to come and see. And Bob's in his mid 80s. But what I saw with him is that he cannot take a step forward with her in his arms, but he just like carried her and danced her way into that living room. When I saw that, what was so joyful in my heart was that how much he loved and loves his fiance. They didn't get even married. They're like in this, stage where they're not even able to move. But even in the midst of all these things, he just so dearly loved this woman. He was able to carry her into that living room. And what am I saying? In our life as well, we're going to find people like that. And whenever we were reading Bible, right? I grew up Catholic, and so the book, all these Gospels and everything are like written to the last, sentences written to the end of the page, right? But only the book of Acts is the only book where there is a half a page of the last chapter ends like in the middle of the page, and there is like a half a page of emptiness in that Bible, right? This is all in all the Catholic Bibles. You're going to see that. And the reason why they just left a half a page, empty page there, is because our story can also be written in that pages. We all have like a stories. We all have struggles. We all have rains pouring into our lives. I know you all have gone through enough in your life as well. But here's the thing. Our hope, just like what Dr. Liz said, we're just going to walk through with you and find out in ways that we can help you, just inspire you, give you hope, even in the midst of all the difficulties. I'm hoping also that you will learn some of these things that Dr. Liz is talking about from the book will be helpful and inspiring for you. Until we see you next time, have an amazing, amazing rest of the week. And we'll come to Anson as soon as they open up. We'll be there. In the meantime, have an amazing day. Thank you.
Thank you for joining us here at Network for Encouragement. We want to remind you that Psalm 118, verse 14 says, "The Lord is my strength and my defense. He has become my salvation." Be encouraged to place your trust in the Lord. He is with you, He is for you, and He loves you.